Greetings, fellow detectives. Wizard Kitten here, bringing you a new Nancy Drew analysis video. Today's video is brought to you by the patrons over at Mystique Manor and by all the official Fellow Detective channel members. If you too would like to support the channel and gain access to exclusive features, check out patreon.com/wizardkitten to become a patron, or click join next to the subscribe button to become an official fellow detective. Today I'm continuing my trend of being in a seasonal mindset with a Nancy Drew analysis video dedicated to examining the best Nancy Drew games to play in each season. I'm an incredibly seasonal person in general, even outside of Nancy Drew. I love to decorate my house according to the seasons. I love to participate in all sorts of seasonal activities. I love changing how I dress based on the season. And most importantly, I love experiencing each season as fully as possible with all 5 senses, enjoying the unique smells, tastes, sights, sounds, and feels of each one. That's honestly part of why I love living in Minnesota so much. Each season is so distinct and gives me a whole new experience at different times of the year. Now, as far as Nancy Drew, the games that fellow detectives enjoy playing in each season may differ somewhat depending on what they find most enjoyable about each season. But for me, it comes down almost exclusively to the atmospheres and environments of the games. Each season, I crave games that really help me dive into the vibe of whatever season I'm wanting to enjoy at the time. And thankfully, the Nancy Drew games have some incredibly rich, detailed environments to explore in order to really hit those vibes. So today, I'm sharing with you my top 3 favorite games to play in each season. This video may include mild plot spoilers, but as a whole will be relatively spoiler-free. Let's start first with the current season that my brain is really wanting to dive into: winter. For me, winter Nancy Drew games simply must be all about snowy environments and warm, cozy feelings. That's why my top 3 favorite games to play in the winter are, in no particular order, Treasure in the Royal Tower, White Wolf of Icicle Creek, and Sea of Darkness. Treasure in the Royal Tower is absolutely perfect as a winter game, because Nancy is quite literally snowed in at a ski lodge. The cold stone walls of Wickford Castle contrast so beautifully with the warmth of the game's story. Plus, there are so many amazing wintry details, from the crackling fireplace in the sitting room, to the frosted window panes of the main entrance hall, to all of the cozy ski paraphernalia in the castle basement. What really makes this game perfect for winter, though, is Nancy's brief stint outside in the brisk cold. When we finally see the snow in all of its sparkling glory, especially the hidden garden with all of the statues, fountains, and plants hibernating beneath the heaps of snowflakes, my heart just soars. I also love the added element of Nancy shivering in the cold, waiting to rush back inside, as returning indoors after a freezing time outside is one of my favorite things about winter. White Wolf of Icicle Creek is also perfect as a winter game. A cozy, snowy lodge up in Canada? What more could we ask for? All of the characters are decked out in warm winter wear and cozy sweaters. The lodge has a beautiful great room with a crackling fireplace. All of the bedrooms are decked out with thick, cozy quilts. The meals that Nancy cooks are warm and wholesome, and Nancy gets to enjoy all sorts of winter activities, including snowshoeing, ice fishing, snowball fights, and snowmobiling. And of course, I have to mention the perfection of the snowy environments, for this game takes place in a veritable winter wonderland. My absolute favorite part is the sound of snow ASMR, the crunching of the snow beneath Nancy's boots as she tromps around the Canadian wilderness in search of a snow-white wolf. Truly blissful. And finally, Sea of Darkness, yet another perfect winter game. The dark night sky awash with stars and northern lights, and the softly falling snowflakes are a literal dreamscape. As one of the most beautifully designed Nancy Drew games, Sea of Darkness absolutely delivers on winter ambiance. All the characters are rocking an A+ sweater game. Snowy footprints line the streets of Skipbrot, and Nancy can explore ice caves teeming with icicles. All of the cold is also contrasted beautifully by the warm lighting of the indoor locations. The warm oranges and browns of the Hurleycide, the central fireplace of the Misty Skip, and the tiny coziness of Magnus's cabin all scream, "Come, sit with a warm cup of hot cocoa and enjoy the beautiful silence that only the winter can bring." Truly spectacular. After winter comes spring, historically my least favorite season. If you've ever spent a spring in Minnesota, then you know blooming flowers and refreshing rains are not what we get. Picture instead piles of grayish-brown slush, sleet, and gloomy skies with very little sun instead. However, that being said, diving into a spring paradise in Nancy Drew provides exactly the escapism I need, which is why my top 3 favorite games to play in spring, in no particular order, include The Haunted Carousel, Secret of the Old Clock, and Danger by Design. In the spring, I'm looking for games that are light, fun, sunny, and the exact opposite of dark. It's the time of year when my vitamin D levels are low, and I'm looking for some positivity and enjoyment. The Haunted Carousel definitely delivers a light, low-stress, pleasant, and carefree environment. Beyond the fact that all of the environments are bright and sunny, we also get to participate in so many amusing activities, from eating giant ice cream sundaes, to riding on a carousel and trying to get the ring, to playing arcade games. Even though this game has a haunting element and a haunted house, the scare factor is extremely minimal, and the game itself is easy to play, putting me in a perfect springtime headspace. Secret of the Old Clock does the same, with its jaunty music, bright sunny locations, and simple tasks like sorting pies or catching fish. While this game isn't one of my favorites overall, I do appreciate it for its vintage cottagecore-esque feel, something I'm definitely searching for in the spring. The bridge that goes over the stream between the Lilac Inn and Josiah Crowley's house is my absolute favorite, with the green grass, flowers, and gentle breeze. That location alone puts me in a springtime mood. Plus, you can't knock Emily's flowing nightgown, open-top drives around town in Nancy's blue roadster, and that feeling of fresh air that you get just wandering around the Lilac Inn. Danger by Design is another great game for spring because it's always sunny and carries a note of cheeky jest through the whole story, which makes it stay on the lighter, less tense side of things throughout. Square du Vert Gallant Park is my favorite location, with the green grass and the ambient noises giving me all the springtime vibes. But I also love the springtime activities of enjoying a meal outside a cafe on cobblestones, mixing up a warm herbal tea to keep away the springtime chills, shopping at markets, and exploring creativity. All things that feel extra special in the spring. After spring comes summer, a time when I'm looking for warmth, adventure, sun, and excitement. A lot of the Nancy Drew games that immediately come to mind as summertime games, however, are not my favorite. None of the tropical games have ever quite landed for me personally, so my summer games are perhaps a bit less obvious. In the summer, my top 3 favorite games to play, in no particular order, include Secret of Shadow Ranch, Phantom of Venice, and Alibi in Ashes. Secret of Shadow Ranch is my idea of a perfect summer game because it gives me all sorts of summer-appropriate activities and a very summer-appropriate location, the desert. The heat of the desert, with all of its cacti, critters, sand, and landscapes, immediately puts me in a summery mood and has me thinking of sun and discovery. Nancy also gets to ride horses, search for arrowheads, pick vegetables, make a bonfire, and explore sandstone cliffs. All activities that bring that feeling of excitement and novelty. Especially since summer is such a big time for vacations, I'm really on the lookout for games that bring me something adventurous, so this one definitely fits the bill. The constant reminders to the heat, like Nancy remarking on the temperature and everyone reminding her to fill her canteen, also bring that summer atmosphere, which I absolutely enjoy. Phantom of Venice also gives me major summertime vibes. Honestly, the presence of gelato plays a pretty huge role in that, as gelato is one of my favorite summertime treats. Beyond that though, the environments are all teeming with warmth and sun, not just from the lighting even, but in the ambient noises all around, including the friendly chats in Italian, the songs of the gondoliers, and the constant splash of the water in the Venetian canals. Even though Nancy is in Venice on an assignment, the game feels like such a vacation. Another important element in delivering that summertime feel. Buzzing bees, brightly colored flowers, stone streets, shopping, it all screams summertime. Alibi in Ashes does as well, and again, the strong ice cream presence plays a big role in that. Nothing makes me feel more summery than a big delicious bowl of ice cream shop delights. That's not the only reason this game makes me feel summer vibes though. All of the locations are bright and sunny, with really rich color schemes. Nancy's house does this particularly well, mastering the bright pastel notes with ease. Driving around River Heights during the Clues Challenge time also reminds me of summer parades, carnivals, and festivals for some reason. The icing on the cake, though, has to be the downtown antiques shop. I can just imagine myself grabbing an ice cream milkshake from Scoop, heading into Wardenclyffe Antiques to browse, and then walking around a River Heights park, enjoying a warm, sunny day. Finally, after summer, comes my absolute favorite season, autumn. I am a big ol' autumn fan. I love literally everything about it. I've gushed about it before. We know this. So, in autumn, I'm looking for some of the best when it comes to a chilly, slightly spooky atmosphere. I could, of course, go full spooky and choose spooky season games, but autumn is more than just October, so I really like to go for games that give me purely seasonal vibes instead. With that being said, my 3 favorite games to play in autumn include, in no particular order, Danger on Deception Island, Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake, and Warnings at Waverly Academy. Danger on Deception Island is one of my favorite games overall for atmosphere, and I think the environments capture exactly what I'm looking for when I think of autumnal vibes. There's a beautiful balance between the cold and removed feeling that Nancy gets in certain locations and the warm and welcoming feeling of others. When she's kayaking out in the fog, exploring isolated beaches, and creeping around the crumbling lighthouse, I immediately get that chilly, brisk autumnal feel of the world slowing down. Then, when she goes to the coziness of the Hot Kettle Cafe, snacking on warm blueberry muffins and fresh clam chowder, we get that beautiful contrast of recovering from the chill, bundling up, and enjoying warm, wholesome comfort foods and drinks. It's absolutely perfect. Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake is also a perfect autumn game, even though I'm fairly certain that it doesn't actually take place in autumn. We can ignore that though, because brown, crinkly leaves on the ground, bare trees swaying their branches in the wind, a charming, isolated cabin, a state park, and a cute little rustic shop are all I need in life. I can instantly imagine myself spending a brisk autumn weekend at Moon Lake, hiking through the woods with a pumpkin coffee in hand, looking at the leaves and birds, and stumbling upon a spooky little cemetery in the middle of nowhere. Add into that the cool autumn air blowing off of the lake in the morning as you bundle up on the couch with a book in hand and a warm blanket, Mickey Malone's doggy clock keeping time. and you have the definition of a perfect autumn cabin. Finally, my favorite game of all time, and one of my favorites to play in autumn for very good reasons, Warnings at Waverly Academy. Stating the obvious, this is a perfect back-to-school game because of how effectively it romanticizes school life. It's dark academia to a T, and I am 1000% here for it. Stating the other obvious, this game takes place during Waverly Academy's fall break, so Nancy can step outside onto the courtyard, see the chilly autumn air blowing through the trees, take in the majesty of Casper's favorite oak tree, and listen to the silence that comes before the season's first snow. Which Nancy then gets to experience later in the game, and it makes me so happy every single time. But the obvious signs are not the only things that make this a perfect autumnal game. Think freshly baked cookies from the snack shop, a gorgeous historic library with warm lighting, plaid uniforms, Edgar Allan Poe, and black cats. Voila, perfect autumn game. So there you have it, fellow detectives, my top 3 favorite Nancy Drew games to play in each season. What do you think of my favorite seasonal games? Do they make sense to you? What are your favorite games to play in each season? Do you even enjoy playing seasonal games? Let a Wizard Kitten know in the comments section down below. If you would like to come join a fantastic group of fellow detectives at Mystique Manor as a patron for the channel, gain access to exclusive content, and support the making of more content like this, please check out patreon.com/wizardkitten. I have also just launched channel memberships with exclusive badges and emojis to use during streams and in the comments section. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming an official fellow detective, click join next to the subscribe button. Please feel free to follow the channel on Instagram or Discord, linked in the description box down below. And as always, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more Nancy Drew and Sims 4 content. Thank you so much for watching, fellow detectives. I will see you soon.